Dr. Sal Pao.
Wow. Thank you. That was pretty cool and pretty humbling. I don't really know if I deserve all this. I'm sure you're probably thinking to yourself, there's got to be a poet laureate up here somewhere, or maybe a doctor who's done groundbreaking research. If I was sitting out there, I'd probably be thinking the same thing. Harvard, Oprah's giving the commencement speech. Last year at Princeton, it was Steve Carell. And even Tulane got the Dalai Lama. So you're probably thinking to yourself, did this school just give a doctor of Humane Letters to a guy who talks about football on TV? Yeah, they did. And I ain't giving it back. And I got something else right here in my pocket. I got the roadmap of how you get from out there to standing up here. Because it's pretty cool to stand up here and get this very prestigious award. It's kind of the second coolest thing that ever happened to me on this campus. I'll tell you about the first coolest thing in a minute, so hang in there. But I know exactly how you get from there to here. Now, Oprah can't make that claim. She didn't go to Harvard. Carell didn't go to Princeton, and I know the Dalai Lama didn't get his college education in Louisiana. But I know what roads to take, what decisions to make, and what not to do and what to do to get from out there to right here. It's right here in my pocket. But before I pull it out, I want to tell you a little bit of a story of what happened to me yesterday when I arrived on campus. We're driving along Ravine Parkway right in front of this building, and all of you were filing out of the rehearsal. And I'm sitting there behind the wheel of my car watching you walk by, and I could see the look on your face. And I know that look, because I once had that look. And that look is, man, I want to get out of Dodge. So I was petrified last night. I couldn't sleep, because I thought this speech is going to bore everybody in the audience. They're going to be rolling their eyes if I go through a series of snapshots of my life over the last 30 years, because they just want to get out of here. So I decided to calm it down a little bit, rewrite it, because basically, honestly, this speech is not about me. It's about you. And I just hope when I'm done here this afternoon that I can get you to hit the pause button on your life for a little bit. Hit the pause button on this little space that you occupy within the human race right now. And when you're ready to hit the play button, make that space for yourself a little better. People around you, the people you love, your friends and your family. But you gotta start with yourself. It's okay to admit that. It's okay to want that. This is your life from here on out. So let me get out this little roadmap. I got it in my pocket of how you get from there to here. Unfold it. It's blank. Blank piece of paper. And what I want you to do is I want you to fill it every single day. Every day, you got to start with a blank piece of paper just like this one. Start filling it up with observations, ideas, a lyric, a line of poetry, a notion of how to fix something, how to treat a patient, how to teach your student, how to free someone who's wrongly accused. We live in this world where just about everybody is looking for something on their smartphone, on their iPad, their laptop, constantly searching all the time on BuzzFeed, Facebook, and Twitter. In this country alone, there's about 320 million consumers of information and entertainment, always looking for content, unique content, something, anything different. And they're looking all the time. So what does that mean? That means in the course of human history, there has never been a greater time to be a content provider. The whole world, let me pull out my phone. The whole world is looking down all the time, looking for content. You do it, I do it. You got to look up. Look up and provide it. That means you got to put this thing down once in a while. And look up at the world. Observe what's going on. Talk to people. Find out what they love, what they fear, what they want. And then give it to them. Write it. Draw it. Sing it. Preach it. Design it. Build it. Play it. Rock it. Mock it. But make sure you go out and find it. And when you get home, take that college degree and just shove it in the drawer. And take out that blank piece of paper, start filling it with your ideas and your plans. One of my favorite philosophers is the late great saxophone player Charlie Parker, who basically invented an art form. And he said, "You are what comes out of your horn." Another one of my great philosopher friends is Ernie from Sesame Street. He had the same idea. Remember when they used to sing to him when he was in the bathtub? Remember the lines? You got to put down your ducky if you want to learn to play the saxophone. You know the words. You can hum them in your head. That means you got to put this thing down once in a while. And I know what you're thinking. This calcified dude from the 70s, man. He's afraid of technology. Oh, no. Just the opposite. I got a smartphone. I got an iPad. I got a laptop. But you know how I got on SportsCenter and how I've stayed on SportsCenter for 17 years? I'm always providing content, unique, real-time content, so that somebody else can consume it on their devices. For me, every day, the internet opens doors to this vast, ever-expanding universe of content consumers. So think of your smartphone as a doorknob. And you know, it's pretty inconvenient if the door does not have a doorknob. So you got to have it. But do me a favor. Don't be getting in the habit of asking your doorknob for directions. And don't be walking around staring at your doorknob all day long like this. Kind of weird, isn't it? Use your doorknob to open up doors, but you also use it to close doors. And that's my philosophy. If you're reading it on your iPhone, you've already lost. Somebody else is already providing content. You're just another consumer. Remember, hundreds of millions of people consume ESPN every day. There's only about 100 of us on ESPN. So do that math. Those jobs are hard to find, hard to keep, easy to lose. Easy to lose when you're going into a highly competitive world like the one you're about to enter. It's real easy to lose if you're constantly consuming. So be a provider. Hey, I'm considered the #1 field reporter on the #1 sport, the #1 sports channel in America. And I started in room 443 in Holbert Hall. How about that? I had a radio show on WONY. You heard of that one? Won't he? Had a column at the State Times. You know how I got there and I stay on SportsCenter? I'm always looking every day to find out new stuff, new content. You can read on your phone, hear on your radio, watch on your TV. When ESPN sends me to an NFL game, I don't even take my laptop with me. I leave it at home. I leave my ducky at home. While my colleagues are on Twitter or retweeting, I'm observing, talking to people, interviewing, finding out new information all the time, and then delivering it. And you know where I've got that from? Where I learned that? Right here on this campus. From my professors here. Jay Powa, Steve Rubin, Paul Italia, Jim Capo. By the way, Jim Capo is right here with his lovely wife, Kay, came up to see me today. This is the thing about Oneonta professors, you can never get rid of them. They're always in your life. But congratulations to Kay, his wife, served distinguishedly as 41 years as a professor in the SUNY system and is retiring this year. Big round of applause for Kay. You know, I was a history major, and Jay Powell, the late, great Jay Powell, was my advisor. And he wasn't interested in teaching me. He was interested in changing my behavior. And it wasn't through instruction. It was through a constant bombardment of ideas and a little harassment. So one day, we're walking up to the student union to get some coffee, and he says to me, "What are you doing this summer?" And I said, "I'm going back to Long Island to mow some lawns." He suggested an alternative, but it wasn't really a suggestion. He said, "Get your butt to New York City." Only he didn't say but. And when you get to the city, you're going to see a sign in Times Square. It's in front of the New York City Tourism Office. And it says, "Welcome to New York. Free information here." That's for the tourists, he said. But the free information will be all around you on every street corner, every face, every person. Everybody will have a story to tell. Crazy, interesting, wacky, entertaining story. So keep your head up. Keep your head on a swivel. Talk to people. Observe and learn what's going on. Then come back here and tell your story. He said, "This is all well and good," pointing to the buildings at the college. But he said, "Life is about blocking and tackling at the sidewalk level." Blocking and tackling at the sidewalk level. My first football metaphor. And sure enough, I get to Manhattan and Times Square, and there's that big sign, "Welcome to New York, free information here." But it wasn't only a sign, it was a signpost for my life. It was kind of this blinking neon metaphor for life, saying, "Pay attention, kid." So I did. Summer '76, bicentennial, tall ships in the river, Democratic National Convention. I got a job in a halfway house on the Lower West Side, taking juvies to work in the morning and taking them to Yankee Stadium at night. When I came home back to Oneonta, and I did call this home, my life view had changed. And I was an RA in Holbert Hall. We called it FIPPY. And on move-in day, me and the other guy RAs were hanging out the window, checking out the freshmen. You know what you get the picture. And I was just doing what Professor Powell told me to do, pay attention, keep my head up. And there was this spectacular strawberry blonde driving up in her own car, a lime green two-door Maverick, moving her books into FIPPY, and she needed some help. So I said to my friends, "I got that one." And ladies and gentlemen, that is the coolest thing that ever happened to me on this campus. That blonde, my wife Lynn, is sitting right over there. She's sitting right between her parents, Jim and Joan Malinsky, who came over from Albany to be with us today. And we've been married for 34 years. Yeah, you can clap. Now remember something. When you graduate today, and here's another football metaphor, so pay attention. You're going to be a 7th-round pick. I was a 7th-round pick. This is not Harvard. It's not Princeton. Way better than that. Because when you come out on top, it's going to be much sweeter. Believe me, I'm living proof. I'm standing here to tell you it's true. So think of yourself as a 7th-round pick, and that means every day you're fighting for a roster spot. I don't care if you're making music or whatever you're doing. You're teaching in school. Every single day, you're a 7th-round pick, and that means sleep is optional, so is breakfast, lunch is necessary, and dinner only if somebody else is buying. You know why? Because you don't get to come up here and get this prestigious honor and give this speech If you're just good at something, you got to be great. You got to go find something and be great at it every single day, and then tell the world about it. Make a little history. So let me sum up my little history. Boy takes a bus from Long Island, not a cent in his pocket. Gets dropped off on this little slice of hillside heaven. Boy meets girl. Spectacular, smiling, strawberry blonde. They graduate, they get married, they have 3 spectacular kids. 34 years later, boy stands up here, honored for a lifetime of work. Girl still smiling. Can't make that up. So here's my advice to you. Money's good. Gotta have it. My 3 daughters went to 3 of the most expensive colleges on the Eastern Seaboard. My entire education here at Oneonta, $6,700. That's a back-to-school trip to Bed Bath & Beyond these days. So you will need to make money. But if you set out to make money, that is all you will make. If you set out to make a little history, you'll make both. That's how you get from there to here. Thank you.